What are you curious about?
This talk is not going to be perfect. Everything that goes wrong is on purpose. So, well, yeah. I thought that was very easy to break this up. Well, yeah, I want to share some personal experiences, how being your biggest critic and the constant strive to perfectionism can really actually spoil the moment and spoil your reality you live in. So, well, Alistair already stole a bit my idea of just tricking you into loving me by giving you cookies. Well, you all got cookies now, again, something. And, well, I actually wanted to know now, how did you like that? Is there anyone who didn't really enjoy this cookie? Please. Someone didn't like it. Well, at least one. I actually was quite disappointed at them. I thought they looked better on the package than they actually were. So, well, there were now 2 or 3 people who did not that much like those cookies. Well, me being a perfectionist, actually, well, just see those 5 people now in a room of estimate 80. I just see those 5 people who did not enjoy this free cookie and who maybe wanted to have something else. And I would just go crazy now and want to fix it because it was not 100% perfect. That means it was not a success, this speech was bad. Klar, that's just how it is now. So, well, that's me most of the time, try to be better. But I speak to my friends and to my surroundings, and I realize I'm not the only one. There are a lot of people who constantly criticize themselves despite what they all did. They have great families, they have great jobs, they traveled the world, and, well, I did also quite a lot of things. But, well, I'm questioning the whole time, like, it's still not enough. So I did some research. I looked into some, not too much, little facts there, because there are no proper facts, actually. So of you guys here, actually, theoretically, 1/3 have been, or will be, at least once in, will be once in psychological treatment for some kind of issue. So, well, it's actually, I researched it on the German side, so I don't know how it's in Holland, but that's the German fact. And I saw that most of the treatments there are actually are for fear. So how is it that we are nowadays in our Western hemisphere, which is quite safe, filled with fear, that we really seek for help? Another thing I found out is also that fear is not only bad. It is something that we needed, and still need also for the future, for our evolution. Self-criticism, constantly reflecting what you do, that pushes us further. It's evolution in the end. So back in the days, those people who were negative, who thought about the fact that there might be some wild animals out there, or some bears behind trees, or something like that, then they were the ones who were cautious. They were the ones who built fences, or that a really heavy winter is coming. They were taking preparations because they were negative, actually. They looked negatively into the future. It's the same today. I guess everybody has a health insurance, not because you have to, but also, well, you should. So it is a negative approach towards the future. Health insurance, saving money, educating for later. So why is it then that our Western society is not just doing these regular things, but spirals into really this negativity of fear that they need to go to see a psychologist? So many already, because it's just going to get more and more. So there is no real answer. So I just use my answer to that, my little answer. And I think one really big impact is the media. You can blame everything to the media nowadays. So I'm really happy that there was no Facebook, no YouTube, no nothing of that sort when I was 15, because it would have made me crazy, or crazier, like really crazy. So even though, don't get me wrong, Facebook really pushed my business very much. It's one of our #1 things we use to connect with people. It is a great opportunity to connect with the friends I have, the friends I made all over the last years, people I thought I would never see again. 10 years ago, I traveled also a lot. And, well, I have around 700 friends all over the world, from past decades, centuries, almost, and different periods of my life, very different periods. And, well, I get still constantly confronted with their life. Usually in my news feed, I don't know what you say, on Facebook, and most of the time they're all good things I hear of them. Because, well, who would post something negative all the time? So I see graduations, great jobs, travel pictures a lot, babies, everything. So all the good stuff. And I get overwashed almost every morning or every day or all the time I check my Facebook with all those positive news of my friends, which is, of course, good. I'm happy for them. However, I have this bad little taste next to it that, yeah, it's making me feel not so good because I just see all day good stuff happening to them. What happens to me? I just check my Facebook. So, yeah. So where does these eternal connections bring me? They just bring me to compare, not only, that is one of my theory, not only compare my offline friends, which I have right now in the moment, hairdressers, my friends from parties, my, I don't know, roommates, students, name it. I also compare all those 700 friends which I met maybe 10 years ago, still to me now, even though I met them in Australia, still compare me to them. So also I have the opportunity nowadays with Facebook that I can check on them all the time, not just every 10 years for graduation. No, all the time. I can see what they did all good. I'm really happy for them. So it's not that I'm not happy for them. Where am I? Yeah, so one of the things that when I was preparing the speech was also I really noticed is I constantly see travel pictures all the time. And then I realized, okay, I have 700 friends. They go once a year on a holiday. That makes average 2 annual holiday picture albums a day. Of course, I think I'm boring and I never travel. But there is no other way around it. Next other theory I have about the media is also, but that's an old theory, I guess, I just use it now, is the endless opportunities we have. Endless. I grew up with that endless. Our generation, we can travel, we can, well, make bicycle tours for 2 years, we can find the love of our life in Tokyo, we can study in Budapest. There is no limits. If you really want to, you can do it. So even though that's really great, and I also did a lot of that stuff, I think it really comes with a big price for me nowadays. It's if you can be everywhere and can also be everybody you want to be, you also have to compete with everybody. So especially in this international study, there is maybe somewhere a really great internship out there, but you don't compete only with your classmates or with your city. You also compete with this guy from San Francisco or that nerd from Japan for this one cool place there is. So that is the motivation that I get to be always perfect. And I think that makes total sense, actually. So another theory also about my media impact on our generation is that you never know if you just pick the best possible life choice there is. I don't know. I'm in Leeuwarden. Who would have thought that? I pictured me somewhere else, actually. So I'm constantly asking, is this really it? Is this the best I can make? Well, I don't know. It makes me anxious. It makes me, yeah, restless. So since ever, I grew up with that. My parents pushed me. Not they didn't want me to always be the best, but I knew I can do whatever I want. Think big, don't limit yourself, just try it all out. And well, my mom always said, oh my God, I wish I would have had all those opportunities that you have right now. Makes me so jealous. I don't know, I'm just thinking nowadays, I wish I would have less. That would make it so much easier for me to decide. Because I'm 30 years old now. I can still do everything. It's terrible sometimes. So then I think maybe if I would know that something is absolutely not possible, then I can just eliminate it out of my head. And then one choice less. So for me, opportunities and choices are nice. And I don't want to be now limited. Don't get me there also wrong. However, they also make me anxious and restless, really restless. I have to compete with the world. I have to choose the best life possible there is because I can. So, will I ever settle down? I don't know. Well, my theory is now, well, I have to see and maybe accept that opportunities are not opportunities. So just because I could doesn't mean I can and I have to. Very difficult, I think. So not every opportunity for you guys is one for me. That's a new thing. We have to limit ourselves now, naturally. But of course, then you have to ask, oh, what is for me now? And what is, but it's a different thing. So what I also discovered is that maybe we should just do sometimes things that just feel right, just feel comfortable, and sometimes really just choose the easy road. I have the feeling our generation has something that comes easy as them, has less value. For me, anything that is too easy, it seems like that's nothing. So for example, this study. I was not the best, but I did also not do a lot, actually. Still, I passed everything easily, even though there have been some time management hiccups, of course. But everything went quite smooth. But instead that I'm just happy about that, and I accept the fact that maybe this is really where my talents are, where my interests are, and this just it is. I just thought, oh my God, the study must be super shit. The Standen, they don't know anything. I don't learn anything here. Maybe I should go to America. Maybe I should do something totally different. Well, I still finished, and I'm really happy about that. Because I also got the great opportunity, of course, to start my business. So, my conclusion. First, I forgot now my slide in between, my one slide. I just want to give you that because it's a really, I think, very important thing, actually. I found that while researching, and I think everybody should know that and really brand it in, even though I'm almost at the end now. So, well, my conclusion is there is no quick fix. Just me as a living example. I freaked out over this TED speech. First I thought when I got asked, why me? Why do you ask me? What did I do, actually? There is nothing I ever really achieved. And then I thought, okay, well, maybe there are some things, and maybe I should just talk about that you lose sight of what you actually did, and you just focus on what you haven't done yet. And maybe that will comfort you students or young people, old people, I don't know. And I made a speech out of it. Well, while writing, I have to read this now, I really spiraled into everything I wanted to warn you about. Self-hatred. Total regret that I ever said yes to this. Absolute knowledge about the fact that this is really bad. It's a bad topic. I cannot speak. I cannot write. It's the worst. And that was Sunday, by the way. It was really fun. And after then, well, 2-3 hours of, I don't know, hanging in there, I realized this total self-destruction mode happened after I watched a TED Talk for inspiration. The TED Talk was by a professor who probably does that every day. It was super inspiring. It was the perfect talk. And that put me down so much because I started comparing myself. I really compared that guy to me, and that my speech would never be as good as that speech. So I was really putting my goal actually into unreachable hemispheres. Well, but I realized it. And I realized that, well, this is actually what I'm just writing about. So I will do this speech, and I have to understand that not everybody of you guys will like it. I will have to look at my cards every now and then. And it will not be the smartest and the most innovative and perfect speech. So when I realized that, there was like a faint little swift of, I don't know, relaxation. And I think there was acceptance. So I accepted it. And then I realized, well, acceptance is kind of the major attribute fighting self-criticism. Just accept it. Accept perfection doesn't exist. There is no fixed place called perfection where you can just go and hang out after you worked enough or you're pretty enough. Doesn't exist. And self-criticism, well, is a powerful but dangerous drug too large dose can kill your confidence and seriously injure you. That was me on Sunday. It can break your heart, your spirit, and your health. Luckily, I'm still standing here. So for myself, I found now a little mini conclusion. It's still, and I have to nurture it. This speech helped me to watch my behaviors towards myself more consciously. I really, whenever I talked the last few weeks and I said, oh yeah, but this could have been better, I realized it. I avoid Facebook at the weekends. And it really comforts me to know that other people struggle too. It's not that I'm happy that they're unhappy, but it comforts me that I'm not the only one. And my plan now is to loosen up a bit, to accept that I'm not perfect, that actually no one is perfect, not even, well, yeah, that professor or Beyoncé or any of the other speakers right now. Yeah, Beyoncé is pretty close to perfect, I think, actually. So there it is. I'm not perfect. This TED Talk is not perfect, but it's also not total bullshit. So there you go.